And then, oh, unfortunately, our EV charging station is still inoperable. We are trying to get it fixed as soon as possible, but in the meantime, we have purchased a charging cable. If any guest needs to charge, go ahead and lend them the cable. Do let them know we'll be putting a $50 refundable deposit on their reservation once they get the cable. That will be taken off when they give it back, all right? What if they have their own cable? Can they use that? Yeah, that's not a problem, and obviously no deposit needed in that case. Just make sure that anyone who is using that outlet, you're giving them one of the temporary parking passes to put on their dashboard while they're charging their vehicle. Cool, can do. Okay, great. That's it for the briefing. Have a great day, ladies. What is that guy doing? What? Look, over there, that guy just put up his pickup and boat right next to the car that's charging. Driver by the wait, what is he? He just unplugged that car's charger from the outlet, and now he's plugging in his own? I'll go talk to him. No, it's fine. I'll do it. Be right back. All right, have fun. Excuse me, sir? Huh? What? Is there a good reason you just unplugged that car's charging cable? Well, yes, actually. I need both of those outlets to charge my boat. And could I see your parking pass to use that outlet? My what? Your parking pass. That outlet is designated for EV parking, and only guests that have the pass have express permission to use that outlet. I mean, I see the pass on their dash, so... But I was using it earlier. I need these outlets to charge my boat. Look, you can't just unplug someone else's charger without their consent, especially when they have our express permission to use it. So you're saying I have to move my boat, but can't you just ask this other person to move? No, that person has the hotel's express permission to park there because it's the only outlet that our charger can reach. But if you need to move your boat, then that's what needs to happen, or you can wait your turn. But right now, you cannot use both of those outlets, so I need you to unplug your chargers and plug that person's back in. And if I refuse? Sir, you never asked permission to charge here, so you have 3 options. You can move your boat and charge it somewhere else, you can wait your turn and charge it after I bring you a parking pass, or I can escalate this up to management and you will be asked to leave. It's your choice. Alright, fine, I'll move. Good choice. Alright, the audit's finished running. There is the rest of the paperwork that I need, so I'll go slip these under accounting store. Let me put the be right back sign up, and okay, cool. Alright, cool, that's all done. Seriously, this is so ridiculous. Like, who's even running this place? Hi, excuse me, can you please come out from behind the desk? Where were you? I was looking for something I could write on to leave you a note to charge these drinks to my room since you weren't here. Well, thank you for attempting to leave a note, but I am here now, so please come out from behind the desk. I could have just stolen these drinks since you weren't here. Well, I'm the one who takes inventory on the pantry, and you are on camera, so I would have found out and charged you anyway. Well, okay, but like, you're supposed to be here. Why weren't you here? I have auditing work that I need to complete, ma'am, and sometimes that means I need to step into the back office, but you are currently in an employee-only area, and I need you to come out, please. I mean, you wouldn't go into the kitchen at a restaurant if your server hadn't been to your table yet. Wow, that was so unnecessarily rude. You know, I could call corporate and have you fired. I'm a rewards member. You're more than welcome to provide feedback on your experience, ma'am, but right now I need you to please return to your room. Okay, fine. Jeez, what's the big deal? The big deal is that you're not allowed behind the desk. Hello, Mr. Smith. I do apologize, but unfortunately, someone did come in and request a king room, and because your reservation was not guaranteed, as I explained over the phone, they did get the room. But I called you and made a reservation. Yes, sir, but as there was no credit card on file, we could not guarantee payment, so as per policy, the room was sold to the walk-in. What? But I thought you said it was fine. We went to get food thinking we weren't in any rush. I apologize if you didn't understand. I said it was fine for you to come in and provide a credit card, but if you didn't put one on the reservation, then you ran the risk of losing the room to someone who was able to make a guaranteed reservation, which the walk-in did do. I told you this would happen, but you said it was fine, decided to dawdle and go get food. Because you said you were hungry. I also said I was fine to wait until after we checked in, but you said that you wouldn't want to get back in the car after we got to the hotel. Well, we still could have been here sooner if you didn't decide that the only place you could possibly eat at was another 20 minutes away. Tell you what, I do have a double queen room available, and I can go ahead and give you a 5% discount, and we'll just call this a misunderstanding. Just 5%? It's not much, but it does make a double queen cost a little bit less than a king. All right, fine, it works. All right. Hi, thanks for calling the Marriott. How can I help you? Nat, it finally happened. Liz! Oh my gosh, it's been forever since our last gossip sesh. What's up? We finally blacklisted the most annoying guest on the planet. What did he do? What hasn't he done? Whenever he calls to make a reservation, he just barks the date he wants, the price he wants, and the room he wants, and expects you just to recognize his number and his voice. And even if the room isn't available, he expects you just to move mountains to make it available for him. That's just... Oh, and then every time he comes to check in, it's a huge problem with this guy because when we ask to see his ID, he makes a big fuss saying, well, you should know who I am by now. And even though I tell him, yes, we know who you are, it's part of our hotel policy to check your ID, he still fights us on it. Oh, and then he also always parks in our check-in carport, and I have told him a dozen times that he is not supposed to park there and that we have parking elsewhere. And this most recent time, he looked me in the face and said, well, there's nowhere else to park. You guys literally have a 5-story parking garage. Correct. And then he told me I should get my butt into his truck and show him where to go park, and flipped when I said, absolutely not. Ugh, you wanted you to get in his truck with him? What a creep. I know, but instead of towing him, management just caved and moved his truck for him. I seriously can't believe your management puts up with this guy. Well, today it was finally the last straw. He came to check in and it was the usual argument over his ID. Management came over and just said it was fine for him not to show it, which, But then he still left his car parked under the carport. I let it slide for about an hour and then I called his room and told him he needed to move it. And once again, it was the usual argument and he finally did come down, but not to move his car. No. To go for a swim. And management still didn't tow him? No, I mean, I asked permission to call the tow company, but management still said no. You gotta be kidding me. Okay, but here's where it starts going down. He finishes swimming, goes straight back to his room, and then calls and tries to make a room service order. It's currently 8:50. Restaurant closes at 9. Last call was at 8:30, all right? He is well past the time that he could put in a room service order. But obviously, instead of just accepting this, he starts screaming. Of course. I hang up on him after about 5 minutes, and then he comes down to the lobby, screams at us some more, and then runs out to his car and speeds out of our parking lot. But the best part, he ran right over one of the curbs that surrounds one of our trees and right over a sharp rock, puncturing his tire. What? No way. Yup, and I saw it all right through the lobby window. His tire went completely flat. That's great. That's just what he deserves. For sure. But get this. He, of course, turns right around, storms back in the lobby, and blames us, saying that we had intentionally vandalized his car. And that's when management finally had enough, right? No way. Management pulled right up next to him, changed out his tire with the spare, and comped him a night. That is just absolute bullshit. But he kept demanding more compensation, said it was going to cost $600 to replace the tire, and that they should comp him 4 more nights, and yada, yada, yada. And that is finally when management said enough is enough. About time! Of course, he only got angrier when he was told that he wasn't getting any more compensation, and in fact, wasn't going to be welcome back to our hotel ever again, and it escalated to the point where the police had to be called and he tried to physically fight them. He tried to fight the police? Yup, so the police detained him, drove him away, and I hope I never have to lay eyes on him ever again. Man, I just wish your management had grown a backbone sooner and avoided this whole mess. Oh, you and me both, girl. Why did you tell them I'm the one that complained about them? Because you said they were being loud. Oh my god, but I'm traveling alone with my daughter. You told them our room number and that we complained about them? Do you understand how dangerous that could be for us? Oh my gosh, Ma'am, I am so very sorry. We can move your room for you, or I can make sure that I have security patrol your hallway more often, I didn't even want them to be called in the first place. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. Well, I don't want to move my daughter to a different room in the middle of the night, so yeah, if you could send security up more often just in case. Yes, ma'am, I completely understand, and I will make sure that that happens. That's ridiculous. Sorry, ma'am. I didn't realize. It happens. We'll just continue on with the training. Oh my gosh. Yeah, the guest did go back to her room and file a complaint with corporate, so that's why the manager's here early and giving her the same talk that she gave you. Hey, I learned my lesson, okay? And at least I only said the room number to the actual guest who was staying in that room. Telling guests the exact room number of the person who's complaining about them? What was she thinking? She just wasn't. I mean, she's so nice, but yeah, no, she is literally the sweetest, but the elevator does not go all the way up to the top with that one. I mean, yeah.